What happened with your intro?
I totally forgot the intro again. Well, anyways, welcome to the show, guys. How's everybody doing today? It is a glorious Monday. Woo!
Fantastic Monday.
Yeah, I mean, who's not excited about a Monday, right? I mean, I'm right there with you. But hey, you know it's here. Yeah, and all the other stuff that goes on. It's here.
Still here.
Yeah, let's get it on. So today is a Monday, and hopefully you guys all had a great day, or at least a tolerable day. We got a whole hour worth of fun and excitement to just go crazy for. To start off with, though, we do this little thing called the 12-Volt Clean Wire Club. Most of you guys are members, I'm assuming. It feels like you are. This weekend, Sunday, Fernando scours the page, tries to come up with what he thinks is the cleanest install. Now, here's the thing. Here's a pointer. I'm going to give you a pointer, guys. Like, if you're like, man, I just did this awesome wiring job, and I want it to be on the page. Like, I want to be the guy Dean and Fernando talk about. I want it to be, like, cool. So pay attention to, like, what looks really cool throughout the week, okay? And if you don't see anything that's, like, pretty awesome, that's when you post your thing, and you wait till like Saturday so that it'll be in the, like he doesn't want to scroll back too far, so that that's how you game the system. I'm telling you how to cheat, pretty much, right? Yeah, I mean that's how you're gonna cheat. So anyways, with that being said, let's jump over to the laptop, and here we go. So we got some SPL stuff going on here, looking all pretty. Got that Amazon fused distribution block with the LEDs, so that's cool. WDX
DB drive, man.
Is that a DB drive?
Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry, I was looking at the DB drive. I don't know how I missed that. Anyways, we got two amplifiers. We got a plexiglass. We got some holes. We got very nice and tidy wiring. Very nice job. Do we know who this is?
Black Audio.
What is it?
Black Audio.
You got your hand on your face.
So Black Audio.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, Black Audio LLC.
Can't hear you when you're talking like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, did a fantastic job.
They did it in acrylic.
Yeah.
Not in plastic, not in acrylic.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, especially if they like had to drill each one of those holes.
I mean, they had to.
Well, no, they could have CNC'd it. They had a CNC. Probably not.
Probably not, but it's... Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, good for them. Good job. And that segment, of course, is brought to you by the fine folks at Kenwood Car Stereo. Kenwood-America.com. KenwoodUSA.com, I think is how the best way to find it. Either way, I'll be going up to Canada for the Canadian version of that to put in one of the new direct fit radios. So that'll be pretty cool. Get to do that here in like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, Friday. I think it's Friday night, maybe Saturday night. I don't even know when I'm doing it. But if you're in Canada, it's going to start at 7:00. It's going to be an awesome event because it's me. It's Fred Lynch from Arc Audio, as well as our good friend Josh from Kenwood USA. We'll all be up there, and we're going to do a collaboration. There's going to be food. There's going to be drinks. It's going to be a good time. The reason why we're doing a collab is because Fred is going to talk about some of the new interfacing things that we've been talking about that iData is going to allow us to do. So, like we've been talking about how if you get one of these new Kenwood radios with Toslink output and you want to keep fader controls and stuff like that, that's going to be done through AR. And the only amplifier that's capable of full iData control right now is the Arc Audio. So it only makes sense to kind of like blend the two classes together. I'll be putting in radio on an F-150. Fred's going to talk about his car that has that stuff in it currently. He's beta testing the hell out of it. And then Josh, of course, will be there to assist us both because he'll be the Kenwood person there to talk about all the cool new features that the Kenwood radio has. And I'm just going to be putting it in. I'm the guy with the screwdrivers. So I'm going to be torquing screws and doing fun stuff like that. It's going to be a good time. For sure. Totally, dude. Yeah. Like, awesome. So that'll be up in Canada along with, I got 3 classes on this trip. So
that's fantastic.
If you're going to be at the CMA, make sure you come check them out. Don't go watch anybody else's. Just come to mine. It's that simple. But thank you, Kenwood. This is the end of the month. So this is the end of Kenwood.
This is your last day.
This is the last day of Kenwood. So thank you very much.
No, tomorrow is your last day. I'm sorry.
No. Today's the
Yes.
last day for Kenwood.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the last day for me. I leave Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
But thank you, Kenwood, for being a sponsor of the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. We appreciate you, and hopefully you guys appreciate them too. They'll be back. They'll be back because once the radios become available, they'll want to come back on and have us talk more about them. So we're not worried about it. Very nice. Very nice. So with that, get your questions in now because this is the time when we're going to start answering your questions. I'm going to cut a promo here real quick because that's the wrong button, Dean. This is the right button. Hey, have you guys heard of AudioControl Epic Series amplifiers? I know that you have. They're all over your feed. What you probably didn't know is why it's called the Epic Series amplifier. And that's because it has that cool little power plug on the back that is designed to go off to an epicenter. So the competition series plugs right in, no fuss, no muss. However, you can also use the micro. Now, if you caught the show the other day, we did show you a picture of the new Epicenter Micro Pro. Ooh, it's got a line driver built into it, input and output gains. It's going to be super cool. I'm not going to show you a picture of it because they probably didn't want me to show the picture I showed. So we're just going to pretend like that didn't happen. But head over there. Make sure you subscribe to their page so you can get updates when new products do come out, just in case we're not on top of our game. Just in case. But head over to audiocontrol.com where you can find more about these cool products. And there's a ton of new products coming out this year. So it's going to be big. Gary Bell, who works there now, had his Prius. That's right. He drives a Prius.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, at the MasterTech Expo filled with a bunch of new prototype stuff that was really apparently very enjoyable. So what's AR? Well, it could be an assault rifle, but in this case, it's iData, and it stands for amplifier replacement. So iData makes a couple modules. One is an RR, which is radio replacement. Acronyms, joy. One is SR, which is steering wheel replacement. Then they have AR, which is amplifier replacement. You have RR2, which is radio replacement with 2 data bus systems in it, because some cars need that. Ooh, balloons. And then we have the new AR2, because that is a different version, meaning it has a preamp section built into it. So anything that could be AR or anything that could be a Rockford 360 can now be preamped. So the best place to find out what things are available through them is to just over to their website, idatalink.com or maestro.com. You type it into your browser and it'll take you right to it. But yeah, so AR stands for amplifier replacement, and AR2 is amplifier replacement with preamp. So like if you were going to put, like this is a Toyota 4Runner with a JBL system in it. If we wanted to integrate into this, we'd go AR, and then we'd go off to like a Blackbird, or we'd use we'd go off to a Blackbird.
Yeah.
Some of the Audison stuff works with that as well also. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's good stuff. We like it. Hello. So what we were talking about with JVC Kenwood, you'll use an RR to do your radio replacement, or an RR2, depends on the car. So like a Ford is an RR, a Chevy is an RR2. But in order to get some of those advanced features, you're going to need an AR2, or that will give you toslink in and out as well as data out. So you'll come into it, come out of it, data will come out of it, it'll pass through, do all kinds of neat things. So pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
Hello,
hey, Javier.
What's up? Miss you, buddy.
Hey, yes. Javier, what was the name of the restaurant that we went? I can't remember. It was so good.
I mean, yeah, but that's par for the course. What happened to Illusion Audio? It's a sad story, really. It really is a sad story. So, Orca, the distributor for Focal Moscone Gladen, who we'll be talking about later, owned Illusion Audio. It was their brand in-house. It was their house brand. It was being made in India, which is fantastic, right? So, the people that were making the product decided one day, they woke up and they're like, you know what? We're going to retire. And they're like, right about the time when they were coming out with new products. So they took all of the stuff and they sold it, the manufacturing facility, to another vendor in India. And that vendor, apparently, he hired all the people. They bought all this. They did everything they were supposed to do other than not suck. So the quality control went out the window. And so once Orca finally got a shipment of Illusion with all the new equipment, it was not good. It was a total bust. They took it like 8 months longer than they should have, and the product just came like not to the level from which Illusion audio should be made. So at that point, the decision was made to turn it into what it was, an Illusion. Just disappeared, went off into smoke. Now, the good news is there is a new product coming out that will take some of the technologies that they created in Illusion and then take them the next step further, and that is Raven. Now, Raven is a brand that Orca has had mainly for the home side, and they would sell the Raven subwoofer to home manufacturers. It was pretty awesome. So, and the technology behind the Raven is just as exciting. But the Raven is going to be a new car audio brand that's probably going to officially launch later this year, I would assume. So they had prototypes at MasterTech. We've been seeing prototypes for a while now. So they have this really awesome shallow, like not really shallow, but I don't even know how to describe it. It's just this really neat looking subwoofer, the middler, so to speak. Like everything based, like this product is full technology. Like they are going and coming up with some of the neatest stuff to make these speakers. And apparently they sound fantastic, which is always good because if you're going to use technology, you want it to sound good. They're also going to have a line of amplifiers that was at MasterTech, which we're pretty excited about. Small, compact, straight power, and DSP. So that'll be good. Like they'll have an 8-to-8 or an 8-to-12 or something along those lines. So it's just a matter of a wait and see to see when the stuff comes out. And just like Illusion, so Illusion had a reasonably priced, and then they had okay. So like the C3X, like I have a pair of those. That was $750 for a coaxial 3.5. So it wasn't like this stuff was cheap. The Raven will probably follow along in that same vein. Mm-hmm. But when we get more information, we'll share it with you. So it is really cool. I did take some pictures of it. At some point when I get to my camera, I'll put them up here and show them to you guys because they are really cool. Like they had the tweeter, they had the 2.5, and they had the subwoofer, and they had 3 of the amplifiers. So it was really neat. What's up, Marty? See you soon.
See you soon.
Don't forget my tips. Just a tip. Okay. Raven has a Raven XL subwoofer. Yes, it's the same company. They're just doing 12 volt. So I have an Epic 5-channel amp. I would love to get one of the new Kenwood DMX 1058 radios. When and where can I get one? Well, right now they don't exist, so you can't get one anywhere because they're not here yet. They're not even in the country. The when would be more than likely the first part of May. The where would be any Kenwood Exelon dealer because it's going to be a Kenwood Exelon product, so we'll have them. So they're coming. But, not soon enough, right?
Everybody's coming.
Like, yeah, so the buzz is cool. They're going to, and I'm pretty sure the first order will just like, oh, geez, what is this? What happened to all the old Carsteria brands? Okay, we'll come back to that one. Will Kenwood direct replacement units have built-in navigation? Thanks. Hell no. There's going to be no support for Garmin on these new units because they don't sell. Like the 1007, I think is what it was, is the Garmin unit. Dude, nobody buys those. Like we bought 4. I think we still have 2 left out of the opening order from 3 years ago. So there's nothing, man. No one's buying that crap. I get it. Every now and then, there's somebody that wants one, and we will sell them a cheaper in-dash navigation system from Kenwood that has Garmin. That's about as exciting as it gets. Nobody's buying this stuff. It kind of sucks. And it's funny. like I was talking about it this morning with Haley. This came up in conversation because she's got a 9 something in her dash, and she has Waze up on it. And I go, the irony in all this is when I bought my first navigation system, it was like a 410, I think it was. It's a 907, Kenwood 907 with a 410 nav. And I was excited because Kenwood had this really awesome employee purchase program.
Okay.
So I got a deal on it. Like it was cheap.
Deal.
It was. Okay. Yeah, it was like $600.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. So I was totally stoked.
Totally deal.
Because you were paying $2,500 for in-dash navigation.
Okay, so no, actually, that was a deal.
It wasn't. But it was a 2-piece unit. So like, there's the screen and there's an outboard navigation unit, and a disc went in it. The discs were like $150 to $300.
Oh wow.
So it was crazy, bro. Like you just were putting like things to go somewhere just to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But every time a new road would come in, it's like, when is Garmin going to update this?
Wow.
So it was really crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
So let me get rid of that.
No, I just came out from the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Forward. Yeah. I don't know about all that stuff.
I know, right? It's okay.
I know. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some cases where reproduction quality sucks because the OEM head unit. I mean, in a full system with a DSP when you can't replace the head unit like new vehicles. If this is a statement or a question, both are true. There are some situations where, anytime you're dealing with a factory radio, you're always stuck with factory radio type crap as far as the sound goes. Even with something like an Amp Pro, an AR2, an Access piece, a Zen module from Nav TV, a Mobridge module from Mobridge. These are all pieces that are designed to interface and give you some form of a preamp section. We're not even talking about high level to low level. So when you do that, you're stuck with whatever that manufacturer decided they were going to put in that radio. And sometimes it's not good. So even if you get one of these that's like fantastic, like Nav TV's, like Sage swears by the Nav TV A to B, says it sounds the best, and it's like it probably does. But it's still not as good as an aftermarket radio because you're dealing with whatever preamp they put in their unit. And their unit, like they're only putting 15, 20 watts to a speaker. You're wanting to go in there and put 70 or 100. You're multiplying all that crap by 5. So floor noise, some distortion depending on what decoder they're using. So like if the radio's old, like Bluetooth in a Ford sucks. I won't use it. I'll just plug in because it's so much better. But yeah, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
But hey. Moving on.
All right, here we go.
Hello.
This was the one that you...
Oh yeah, thank you so much for setting my iPhone up for better streaming. I just renewed my SiriusXM subscription for streaming only at half the price, and it sounds 10 times better than the radio feed. So this is a great question that happens quite frequently. Let me do this, and we'll come around to it. People will come in, and this is the difference between a salesman and a clerk. Okay, like a clerk will just, you asked for it, you're going to get it. A salesman wants to know why. Why do you want this? Okay, so I fancy myself a somewhat salesy guy. So customer, Bob, was in, and he was like, I want SiriusXM. And I go, nobody wants SiriusXM. And he's like, no, I listen. I go, I understand that, but nobody wants it aftermarket. I said, you have a phone, right? You're going to stream from your phone? Yeah. Well, stream it from your phone. So SiriusXM typically sounds like crap because it's every channel coming down at one time. So they have to compress the hell out of it. That's why when you're in your car and you're listening to it, everything kind of goes like this, and then it'll do this, and it'll go like this. So it's just garbage. However, if you pay less and just stream it from CarPlay or Android Auto, it's only one channel at a time. And as long as you have cell service, guess what? It sounds really good because they're compressing the feed to the satellite down, not the feed up to the satellite. Okay, and so you're getting that feed, that clean stuff before, So in the case of this, it's like you pay less and it sounds better. Now, if you're one of those guys like Paul Paul can't. He like driving with Paul. You want to kill him like after the first 15 minutes you're in the car because he cannot park a radio station. Not only that, he plays it at a volume that is not talk friendly, but yet he wants to talk. And so you're like, dude, pick something and then turn it down so like I can understand what you're saying. Like, right? You just want, it's like, I refuse to get in the car with this guy anymore. He's like, I'll drive. I'm like, no, you won't. I'll walk. The voices in my head cannot take you. So, but all I listen to is podcasts. Well, that's fine, Frank. And there again, I don't have a SiriusXM subscription because why? But I get it. There are some cool things on there. So, hey, this next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at focal-america.com. Do you need an awesome set of speakers at many, many price points? If you do, focal-america.com is the place to go and check them out. Focal has all your needs and all your variety of price points, performance needs. So head over there, check them out. You have from Auditor to Utopia and every stop in between. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Gotta sometimes just keep it sweet. Gonna get a Tundra Crew Cab Max 2014 through 2021. That's a swing. I want to know if Morel Hybrid 6.5s will go in the door without modification. Yes. Yeah, it should be no problem. Yeah. Toyota doors are simple. They're actually, and that's a 6.5. So you have plenty of room to put a speaker. So just to give you an idea, even though this is a 4Runner, they all use the same basic speakers. So this is it right here. Okay, so you have tons of room to make this happen. Okay, and the newer ones have even more room because they've switched from a 6x9 to a giant 7-inch. So you have a nice center magnet. But yeah, you can make or buy brackets with easy peasy.
Yep. Thank you for the 10, man.
If you are going to get a Tundra, okay, which is the bigger truck, and you're going to want to do one of two things. You can do a simple two-way, but the Tundra has the JBL option. You don't necessarily have to buy the JBL unless you're planning on keeping the radio, in which case I strongly recommend you get the JBL because then we can do an Amp Pro AR or anything like that out of the factory radio into the aftermarket stereo, so you'll give it the best fighting chance. Personally, you're probably going to swap the radio because the radio sucks. But if you get the JBL system, you get a 3-way set. Now, you can buy the parts that you're missing. So we do that a lot, where it's either a sail panel or an A-pillar. You just go online and order them, and then you can do a 3-way set. So, and they're reasonably priced, too. So, like, I think the sail panels, they're all under $150 for both. So check them out. Hey, 4Runner hatch speaker bypass. I did what you said using Maestro harness soldered together to bypass hatch. But once volume was turned up to a certain point, lost audio from entire system. Any ideas? Check your ohm load. You might have, just check your ohm load. Something is not right. So go behind the radio and see what your ohm load is. That would be where we would start. So just see what it's doing. Because it shouldn't do that, obviously. You good?
Mm-hmm.
What about Hybrid Audio? Another great brand that went kind of silent. Actually, they didn't. Hybrid still exists. Hybrid got bought by a motorcycle company. So all those speakers that they make, like Legadia and stuff like that, you can still get most of them, but most of that technology was moved over into the motorcycle side of things. So they're still around. They're just the focus, the previous owner is just designing speakers now. He doesn't own the company. They sold that to some other people. What's his name still works there? SQ guy? SQology? Yeah, that guy. He still works there. So I can't believe I can't remember his name. It'll pop to me like later. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. What?
Clinton?
No. What?
Clint?
No, it's not Clinton. Something like that, though. Anyways. So, yeah, they're still around. There's obviously Ben Zimmerman. No, it's his partner. The other guy. But yeah, they still exist. Dude, why am I not?
I'm trying to.
They literally this weekend just republished our podcast.
What podcast?
The one that we shot like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, last year. So
Clifton.
Thank you.
See,
yes.
I was close.
Clifton still works there. And
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's Austin.
Yes.
Dude, it was so funny in the podcast. So he kept asking questions. So I would walk over and sit next to him. I'd be like, "How you doing, Austin?" And he was, he's a big guy, and I was making him uncomfortable. It was so funny. But no, great guy. Love that guy. He was fun. He asked really good questions on the podcast. So if anybody caught the podcast that Brian and I did while we were out at Master Tech, if not, it's
he was in the podcast.
Austin was one of the ones asking a lot of the good questions.
Yeah.
So, okay. Quick question: why doesn't Kenwood talk about the subs? Do they still make them? Here's the thing. Yes, they still make subs. They still make great subs. They have some of my, like, their box, their 212s and 112 box that they make, both Exelon and non-Exelon, that do down firing, back firing, come with grills ported. They sound fantastic. Even their shallow mount subwoofer, like, there's a fan base for that. Like, we don't sell them. We stock them, though, because there's a couple dealers in the area that just, like, love them.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, that's not their focus, which I think is kind of weird because, like, I get it. Like, their focus is on their head units. They're a Japanese company. There's a mandate that comes down and says, talk about this stuff. And they're also focused on motorcycle here in the U.S. because they're trying to build that thing. But, like, speakers, they got amazing speakers. They got amazing amplifiers. And, yeah, their subs are not, like, they make really nice stuff. All of it. But, yeah, they never talk about their subwoofers because it's just a subwoofer. And it just sounds good. So, and the other thing, too, is, like, think about it for a minute. How are you going to convince somebody to buy that subwoofer? Like, you need to buy a Kenwood subwoofer. Everyone's going to be like, are you crazy? No, I want XYZ, 10 other brands of popular subwoofers. No. So it's like, listen, if you need an affordable subwoofer that sounds good, comes in an enclosure, and gives you a 2-year warranty, give us a shot. Otherwise, we're not going to fight it,
No, you focus the energy where the money is.
Well, where you stand a chance, right?
Yes, of course, on your head units, for sure.
Yeah, so.
All right.
How do you feel about shops that don't run everything nice and clean, wires, etc.? I worked at different shops and seen firsthand.
Tell me, Dean, how do you feel?
Listen, all right.
No. You have to say the truth.
No. This is the truth. Listen, we all know how picky I am. Okay, like I don't call it OCD because that's not what it is.
What is it?
I'm picky, and I don't like things that aren't neat, clean, and organized. All right, that's just what it comes down to. So when I see something like that, I go in my brain. I go, they're lazy, or they're just not thinking it through. I don't know, but to me...
So what is the right word that you say?
I mean, it pisses me off is what it does. So, I mean, that's just reality to it. But then again, everybody has their idea of what clean, neat, and tidy is, okay? Not everyone is mine. And as I get older, I learn to accept that there are certain things that I don't need to get caught up in. Like, if you do crappy wiring, that's on you, bro. Should you do good wiring? You should at least give it a try. And I also look at it like, for example, you have a 8-year-old 9-year-old now. Jesus. And I have I take care of a 7-year-old, 6-year-old. Jesus Christ, he just turned 6. Okay. Now, when Haley was a kid, we would have to do homework and you have to draw.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, I want to draw. There's one thing. She's like, I want to draw a giraffe. I said, cool, let's draw a giraffe together. And so I drew what we were looking at. My giraffe looked like a giraffe. It looked like the picture because...
How old she was?
I'm sure she was between those two ages. So she drew a giraffe that looked nothing like that. But when I said, is this what the picture looks like? And she goes, yeah. And I said, you might need glasses.
Yeah, but no, come on, man. But it's a kid.
I understand that. But my point is to her, at that age, it looked fine.
Yeah.
She was totally cool with it. She understood her abilities more than I did. And I accepted it for what it was.
Right.
Did I want her to do better? Of course I wanted her to do better because I'm her dad. I want her to do the best that she can.
Right.
You got to be perfect or at least close to it. It's impossible. So when I see somebody that does crappy wiring, I just go, what? Why? Where did it fall out? And trust me, I could see that stuff from a mile away. It sucks.
Yeah.
But, it's okay. You just pat them on the back and say, hey, you did good. You want a lollipop? So.
I mean, just even when we do radios in here and I just put, zip ties on the microphone or the backup camera or something, he just comes out. He's like, yeah, no, too short or too long or too this. So he got him off and he just put new zip ties in there. So,
well, it just happens. Dean is not being picky. It's having high standards, brah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really that high. It's I mean.
That's what when I came here for the first time to work and he told me, dude, just do what I need you to do. That's it. We're not going to be friends. You just do what I need you to do and you're not going to get fired. And I say, oh, shoot.
Yeah, you're probably going to get fired.
I'm going to get fired.
Or shops that protect wires only. Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk about this all the time. We do 12 inches of test tape.
I love that. I mean, that's the only thing you need.
Well, yeah, 12 inches. 12 inches. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't need any more than that. Just go there. Anyways.
Yeah.
Here we go. First hand account. First shop I worked at, the head installer got paid extra by the customers to do the whole system with alarm over a weekend. Big system. Came back sounding like crap. We took it apart, and it was. It was crap. Listen, so flying into I hate the phrase, but I'll do it anyways, because flying into the Wayback Machine. Anyways, the first day I started here, Paul thought it'd be cool to hire me an assistant without asking me if I wanted an assistant. Okay, that's a big mistake, because just like a cop detective when he says, I work alone. I worked alone. I've been working alone for 2 to 3 years at that point, and I wasn't ready to have somebody stand next to me, especially somebody I didn't know and I hadn't educated. And I had to listen to this guy talk for 8 or 9 hours about how good he was and how he'd lost his job because the previous place said he was too good for them, and he believed that shit. That's the only way I could say that, okay? I could not wait for him to get out of here. And he left, and I walked over to Paul, and I said, call him and tell him he's not coming back tomorrow because we don't need him. And then I came back over here, and I redid everything that he did. I stayed an extra 2 hours and fixed everything that he had done. It only took me 2 hours where it had taken him 8 because he sucked that bad. And then the best part was is at the time Paul was in the wire kits. This guy was like, today, you were like,
yeah.
You measured the wire
to
find out if the kit was going to work.
Yeah.
The kit didn't. We needed 20 feet of power wire. There's 18 in the kit. We're not going to magically grow 2 feet.
You're going to stretch it.
The wire stretcher broke last week.
Yeah.
So he gets done, and the wire's in the footwell. And he goes, man, the wire's not going to reach. We're going to have to butt connect wire onto here. And I go, okay. I guess I'll do that later. So I pulled it all apart and reran the wire, and guess what? Hey, it reached. Magical.
So same wire
reached. No problems.
Okay.
Look, some people just aren't cut out for this, man. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Some people. So look. Some people are what they are, and that's okay. I have no hand-eye coordination. I cannot play video games to save my ass. I like watching people play video games, not on YouTube like that crap. I just like if I'm at a house and you're playing video games, no, you can play. I'll watch. I can't do this, so I give credit where credit is due. There's certain things I can't do, but when I can do something, I try to do it at the highest level possible because that's my skill set. Know your skill set, and then excel at them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anywho. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Dean, who is your mentor?
That's what I'm about to do.
No, click on it. Okay. That's a great question. So he knows who he is. He unfortunately passed away last year. There was a guy named Bill Tregillis. Now, Bill Tregillis at the time when I started was he was like, he could do anything. And to this day, if he was still alive, he would do it. He made it on Monster Garage. He was on the Coco, the Talking Gorilla. That was the show that Jesse actually quit on. And he became friends with Jesse after that and all that other fun things. But he was the kind of guy that could just do anything, whether it made sense or not. So he was an amazing fabricator. So
Yeah.
he taught me how to think about how things should be built. The problem with him was he could never finish anything. He was one of those 90% guys. So he always needed someone to come in at the end and just like push it over for him.
But he can never wire anything.
He could not wire to save his ass. And he could not build anything where wires were going to have to run. So we would get done, he would get done with the building, and I'd be like, where am I supposed to run my wires? And he goes, I don't know. And I'd be like,
I'm done,
dude,
bro.
like, so, but from a mentor standpoint of view, the angles that he approached things and how things should be put together, that was really where I learned a lot from him. When it comes to the clean wire side of things, I went to college to be an architect. Okay, so that was where that came from because I liked lines, I liked drawing, I liked that type of thing. That was where my brain has always been. I took some engineering, drawing, and so that was the thing for that. Now, has there been mentors, so to speak? I look up to a lot of people in this industry that just do amazing things. But in the beginning, there wasn't that many. It was magazines. I would look at the magazines, and there again, all those guys that were in the magazines were the guys I looked up to. And it's funny now because like I've met a lot of them, and I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Manville, like. No Manville. Manville's a great guy. And it's like, I grew up looking at his cars and it was like, oh my gosh, you're that guy?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of them like that. Like met Fishman, looked at all Fishman stuff, and find out that how they wired him up. Carlson was his wire guy because he's colorblind. And it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's like learning all these things. Stereorama back in the day.
No, I'm saying that the Trigillis work in there?
Trigillis did not work in there. He did not work there. No, he worked at AVE with us. But Trigillis also, after he left AVE, because his wife didn't like him working at AVE because JJ wanted him there 6 days, 6 days all the time. Fukuda, another good one. That guy is fantastic. So didn't know those guys were inspiration because I didn't know who they were, but meeting them and then seeing I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like you're the dude. Mobile Solution Bryans was my IRTAT instructor. Yeah, and see there again, like didn't even know that stuff existed. Just kind of parallel courses. So I looked up to Steve Mead. Great guy.
Yeah.
Got to meet him. Fun guy to hang out with. Really cool dude.
Yeah.
Different than what he is in front of the audience. Knowing him on a personal level, like we got to was really cool. And so that's fun. And like, and I hope that when we meet people and talk to them, they have similar experiences.
We have this thing, yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, I got to meet Dean and Fernando, and it's like, or they're like, oh my god, I got to meet Mike Rios, Mike, there he is, with
Mike,
Dean in the background taking his picture because it's so cool. So, that's good question. Went a little sideways, but thanks anyways. So
that's cool.
I like that. Yeah. And I love meeting people. I love like I'm so excited to go to the CMA, hang out with those guys, hopefully teach them something.
Just the ability to hang out with different people, like meet the industry. A lot of people in the industry is fun. It's fantastic. So you want to click on something?
With all the strengths of the 5-star Bay, what are the things you still feel you need to improve on? So that's a great question. So we have the 3D printers. We have the lasers, and those are the things that I like to put my time and effort into. Like today, we're building an amp rack for this truck, and Fernando was like, Oscar made these cool amp rack mounts on his 3D printer. What are you going to do? And I'm like,
well, that was kind of like the perfect because I saw a picture of Oscar making an amp rack, but you can have that angle like this, like how my thumb is, like an L, And I'm like, oh, dude, he print a mount to screw it on the factory location. So I'm like, that is very cool. So I told Dean, and he's like,
And I saw
okay,
the same pictures too. I just didn't think anything of it. So this shotgun shell looking thing
that is cool.
is this color because the black ran out in the process, so I had to change it to blue. So this is one of the mounts that holds the back side of the bracket in place. So the reason why it's countersunk like that is because there's a nut that goes in, and so this screws in, and then we used an M5 so that because the factory is an M6, and I want it to thread through, and I don't want to cross thread the M6. So this screws into the amp rack and holds one corner, and then this little guy here, which is this angle piece with a countersunk M5 Allen head screw. So this goes into, there's a bracket in the back that this sits on, and then the amp rack comes up to this and screws into place, because the way the amp rack has to go in is it can't, whoa, and it broke. No, it can't have all these brackets and stuff on it. So, took some time today. I don't know, this one took about 15 minutes to draw, and then this one took like 5 minutes to draw. And then printed them. But it's stuff like this where I think learning the tools, learning how to be more efficient with the tools, and coming up with cool ideas that, part of the thing is having an idea and then going, what do I do with it?
And like you say, you look up into every single people on the car audio. Everybody does different things. So for me, I like to go and look what everybody's doing, and
Yeah, and there again, it's like Fernando's off learning Fusion because I want him to learn Fusion. Fusion is apparently what everyone wants to use. So as long as he learns it, then I don't have to. I can go learn other things.
Yeah.
So, which is cool for that. Hey, before we go too deep into this rant, Arc Audio is the sponsor for this. And I wanted to just go over to their website because they've put up this wonderful loader that talks about most of the new products that they have. We have the new PS12 Pro.
What?
Which is fantastic. We also have the new PS16 Pro.
What?
That's right, a 16-channel DSP. And then after that, we have the new PS 6.8. This is their new affordable DSP. So this one's coming in at $550. So it's a 6 to 8. That's $550, and of course the new Copper Series amplifiers that Fernando has. And then of course the new AS speakers. So, anyways, do yourself a favor, head over to arcaudio.com and just stroll through the website, see some of the new offerings they have.
Yeah.
So when you look at like a DSP Mini, and then you look at like a 6 to 8 PS68 6.8, they're about the same price.
Wow.
And you're getting a 6 to 8, plus you're getting DNA software. So it does everything that the 16 channel does, minus the channels. So you have the same software and all that fun and excitement.
Right.
So that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Just saying. So check them out for sure.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I need, right? You do.
And the 12 channel.
And the 12 channel. Yeah, because you were waiting. So it's out.
You can get it now.
I am not familiar with CarLink wireless CarPlay adapters. We use a company called rvdfl.com, and that's what I have in my car. I'm sure they're similar.
Before I changed my radio, that's what I had.
Yeah.
To be able to do wireless CarPlay, and they were fantastic. The tech support is always there. So
yeah, they do have tech support, which is cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of these don't, like the Amazon ones don't. So, and I think you can order it directly from their website. They're here in Florida.
Yeah.
Hence the FL. I saw your video you did for the new Age Mustang. I want to buy those same tweeters. Any chance you would make and sell me the brackets for you guys? No. However, it's nothing personal. I do know who has a set though that you can buy. Sage sells them. Yeah, so you can actually go to soundsgoodstereo.com, and they have a set of them for the new Mustang that you can pick up directly from them, and they have different size holes so that you can get the ones you need. So that's soundsgoodstereo.com. Gets a 1087 is the brand, but yeah.
we probably reach right now if you were to sell all the speaker brackets and all that stuff.
No.
But you can check
yes.
soundsgoodstereo.com.
Not to talk you out. They make great products.
Oh, no, they make an amazing products.
So.
Dude, I love working with their products. It's nice.
Thank you, Mary Lou.
Thank you.
Dude, those were some pink shoes she was wearing. They didn't even look comfortable. How were those comfortable? I mean, people ask me all the time, my shoes are comfortable. They don't come to a point.
Did you ask her?
No, because I hate the question. But they didn't look comfortable. They look pink. But everyday audio system you install need a high-end DSP like Helix, Arc Audio, and Gladen, and it seems to me they would be for high-end system compared to AudioControl or DSR1. So here's the thing. Here's what you have to consider when you're asking this question. The reality is it's the same amount of time. Okay? So if
I feel the question will be, when do I need
right from the get-go.
Exactly.
You need it right from the get-go. Because here's the thing. You're wasting your time. 100% you're wasting your time. Because, like, if you're going to learn something, learn it. Just dive in. It's not that much more money to get the best. So just learn it. It's going to take you just as much time to set up both of them. And the reason for that, like don't get me wrong, we've done hundreds of audio controls and DSR1s, and we'll probably end up doing 100 more because they're affordably priced and they work. But if you're asking me this question, if you're like, what should I buy? I would buy a high-end DSP, and it's for the reason that you can actually work through one of those faster because they have features that make it easier to adjust. So, for example, we've talked about it before. We talk about grouping. The ability to take a channel and another channel and another channel, like the whole left-hand side of the car at once, or both of the tweeters. You can adjust one, you can adjust the other, and then you can group them together. And if, like, one setting was at -2 and the other one was at -6, it stays there, and you just adjust it like this. In a basic DSP, not just those two brands, but, you know, all the stuff made over the inexpensive software that everybody uses. I give Brian crap about that. Theirs is the same way. You adjust left, you adjust right. You can't bring them back together. If you do, it'll say, do you want to bring it to right or match left to right or left, right to left? And it's like, no, I want them to stay separate. So what you end up having to do is go to the left and go up 2 or down 2, you know, as an example, and then go to the right and go up 2 or down 2. Okay, and then you have to go back to the left and go up 1, and go back to the right and go up 1. So you end up spending way more time.
Are we dancing or what?
Yeah. Well, that's just it. You spend way more time compensating for just things that aren't in the DSP. But there again, if you don't know they're not, if you don't know you're missing them, then I guess that's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
You know, once you've used a more complex DSP that has more settings,
you remember like, the guy that came over here and is like, dude, you know, I need a bigger DSP because I grew up from this regular DSP.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he was asking why I couldn't do these features. And it was
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
you need a bigger DSP.
You need a bigger DSP.
So
you need more
just
features.
learn the bigger DSP.
Yeah, and they're free. The softwares are free. You don't have to pay for it. Just download it, play with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from that perspective, they are free. The devices are expensive.
No, but just the software. You know, it's like, how can I?
No, I'm good, Mary Lou. You can. I'm fine. I'm fine. They're not. I toes. I need my toes. They have to be separate. With a Tundra 14 to 21, what are your sub amp and box recommendations for lows? I think with that one we go with. I know
Foxbox.
I think Foxbox makes a full big.
So.
If you're going big, then Foxbox makes the full big. Like if you want big bass, believe it or not, if you just want simple bass,
yeah.
Scar makes a box for that truck that works really well. I don't use their subwoofer in the box, but their box is really nice.
Yeah.
No, that's a Tacoma. Sorry, that's a Tacoma. I was thinking you want Tundra.
Yeah.
Doesn't Fox make one? Yeah.
2014 to 2021. Yeah, it goes behind the.
Yeah, it's right there.
This one. And then you could put regular subwoofers. You know, regular 10s.
10s, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Regular 10s. I would recommend you to put some grills on it.
You need grills.
Subwoofer.
You have to have
comes
grills.
with grills because the seat literally goes close to the box, and you don't want to damage any subwoofer. So that's what we use.
Oh yeah. So that was it. That was the day you were gone. It says your shoes have a tendency to catch speaker boxes and crack your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I've never seen Ernie get so pale.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, for good reason. For good reason.
what are those?
Well, no, that was the day I was walking when we were in the other
Yeah,
store.
you remember.
And I walked
remember
in and
you
my
told
feet
me.
went like this. So
Yeah.
they went. I worked, nanu.
Yeah.
Or live long and prosper.
Did it hurt?
Oh yeah, it felt terrible, but I just kept working because and when I took it off at the end of the day, that whole side of my foot was just bruised, and he was like, ah, and it was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
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 Man, I sold my Fox box when I switched to Kicker Solo box, and good God, I regret doing that. I understand, Ernie. I understand. Head unit toss link out of the SM Jack one or the Kicker Key 204. Your thoughts?
Head unit tossling out. I don't know what's that model.
I don't either. I've never even heard of that.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, you gonna try?
SM.
You good?
Hang on.
But AudioControl Epic 5, fantastic. It's a good 5-channel amp. Good price.
Jesus Christ.
We got those. But I can't wait till we're done with all this, when the CMA's over.
Why?
So, just because then we'll be done for a couple months, and we can get the backlog of amp dynos and amp unboxings and all that stuff done, because we got a ton of them. Oh, it says Amazon. I don't even know what that is.
I think it's like an.
Oh, so a DAC to a. All right, so a head unit toss link out to that to a Kicker Key 200.4 thoughts. I mean, if all you need is 4 channels of audio, why not? I mean, sure. It's just a matter of if all you need is 4-channel audio. So I think that's
what are we trying to get?
I don't know.
At that point we just.
Does anyone here have a suggestion to have custom speaker adapters 3D printed? Where would I go? Thanks. Okay, so the reality is what kind of car? What why would you want them 3D printed?
Yeah.
So what kind of speakers? So there's a lot to consider there. Because listen, I don't really have an answer for this. Focal dealers have 3D printers. So and some of the MTI dealers or the Helix dealers have 3D printers as well too. Some libraries, believe it or not, have 3D printers and or lasers that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is one of the things to consider is fighting your battles. Okay, so for example, one of the props that we made in our class for Master Tech that I'm going to take to Canada with me is this bracket. Okay. This bracket, it's countersunk on the back. You can see all that. This is lasered. Okay, this bracket took, from start to finish, gluing it all together, maybe 10 minutes. Okay? Start to finish, the whole thing. Drawing it, building it. This is a 3D printed bracket. It's basically the same exact thing. This took probably 45 minutes to an hour because you have to print it. It takes way longer. Okay? Same thing. Okay? So, and then this bracket, this I made by just screwing the speaker to a piece of plastic, taking it over to the router. This thing took 3 minutes.
Less.
Okay. I mean, I had to screw the speaker down, so I had to go get screws. And this bracket, we used the Trace, which is a cool tool. We didn't do nothing other than draw it, take it into the Glowforge, and print it. Like this didn't even see CAD software. Like this was literally, I did this with a pencil. So it's my router is faster than my through. So what it is, what I'm basically getting at is figuring out why and fight your battles. Like
Well,
what makes the most sense.
Like right there, yes.
So
I have this one. Right? This.
Yeah, so this is a bracket we make for a Porsche that we make out of acrylic. Now with acrylic, like we'll print 4 of these to get 2 that work. Maybe even print 6 of these to get 2 that work because they crack here and here, and sometimes they crack right here.
Now, making that in a router
is impossible. But the 3D printer using ABS, it's 100 times. Like I could never do that with acrylic; it would just shatter in a million pieces.
Yeah.
So now another thing, like this one, this is a 3D printed version of what we just saw. But if you'll notice,
right there,
it's fat
Angle.
here and it's skinny on there, so it's actually angled. This is something I can't do with a laser. I can do it with a router because I have one of these cool things from Mobile Solutions. So I can do that with plastic.
Animal.
Yeah, I have an animal, so I can do that with a router. But a laser, it's no.
Oh, now it's broke.
Yeah, now it's broke. It is no good. So having access to all of these things makes life different. And there again, like we talked about earlier, this bracket here for the amplifier. Sure, I could just cut some plastic and it'll look fine. It'll be fine. It'll do exactly what we want it to do. But this adds another level of craziness to it. Now I could make this out of plastics. There's nothing too difficult about that. But they're again printing it. It's
like
this took 26 minutes to print and 10 minutes to design. This I could never do. This is a 2-piece. So this is 3D printed with acrylic in the center of it. So it's having all these cool tools, but then having the ability to know what makes the most sense.
So it's really a 2004 Navigator, their wedge shape mount for a 6x8. No one makes that.
I'm a fabricator, but 3D is the best choice. And it might be. Yeah, might be.
And right here, like if you are like Austin,
I think for the DIY or 3D printers, easier and cheaper, and having shop. Because
like he said right there, Fusion 360 is free when you just sign up for like.
Okay, so there again, you just need some 2D software like this. I'm cool.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah. Okay. So
Stop
this
drinking, bro.
This got printed. So this is just a 2D drawing that we did. This was the day the Glowforge broke. So we needed something to make this because I can't make this on a router. It's not possible. I mean, it is, but it'd be very dangerous. So we just simple, flat, 3D printed piece. Very cool. This did not go into Fusion or anything like that. So it's just a matter of what you need it to do. And there again, you can get into a 3D printer.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the animal there. Yeah.
Yes, right here. I'm the animal.
You are the animal. But there you can get into a 3D printer, a bamboo 3D printer, relatively inexpensive, depending on what you need it to do. And I highly recommend getting yourself a bamboo printer. You'd be surprised. You just need to know how to draw 2D. You don't have to go crazy and draw 3D and all that other crap. I later this year we'll make some videos showing some of the simple processes, like because this is not made in Fusion. There's not 1 second of Fusion in either one of these.
Nothing, dude. When he made one of those tweeters for what's his name? Yeah, I was like, what? 3 circles and 1 square? No, that was what? One circle and 3 squares.
2
you
squares.
made that.
Yeah, so maybe. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I was like.
Do you ever use the Milwaukee battery-powered router?
Yeah, that's what we
okay.
showed.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, very nice. I plan to send Dean and Fernando some ABS molds to play with soon. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I will say this, like right now, the 3D printer up there, it got to work out today printing these, which was cool. We have 2 up there. Right now it's printing fish. So, because we have the little dead fish that we have. They're like little fidget thingies, and I'm going to take a handful of them with me up to Canada. So to just hand them out. So I put a 5-star on the tail, and so tonight it's going to finish printing, a dozen or so little dead fish, which are fun. Like I know a couple guys that we gave them to. They keep them in their pocket all the time because they just sit there and wiggle.
I mean, you should do what Ray does.
Make dicks with the 5. No, no.
I mean,
when you do a car that has a front center speaker, do you always replace that part? Peak? No, very rarely actually. Do we do center? The reason for that is 2 things. One, this is a pet peeve of mine that I find very irritating. Is most manufacturers do not build equipment to allow us to retain a center channel. So we're not building amplifiers that have a dedicated center channel output. So you get 8 channels of power. That's a 3-way and a set of rears. It's a 2-way up front, maybe a center, probably not. Rear and a sub. The other thing too is an up mixer. So a lot of these things that have center channel, it's not a center channel output. It's just something that says center. I don't even know what it's doing. It's not up mix though, so it's just kind of like So when you look at adding a center channel, it could add some serious expense. The other thing too is most manufacturers don't sell single speakers. So it's like, okay, I have to break open a set. Now, on the upside, if you tune the car properly, you'll never know. You'll never know. I can't tell you how many times we've gotten done and people have gone, wait, I thought you said you weren't replacing the center. I go, we didn't. Just move forward some. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So if you have good ventilation, you can laser ABS. Oh. But you have to have very good ventilation because of what the S in ABS stands for. We've done it maybe... no. Oh. We've done it maybe twice. We don't have good ventilation, so we will never do it again. But like Titan, they have great ventilation. They cut the crap out of ABS and never have a problem with it. So,
Okay, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Probably nothing other than the crossover. I don't know though, but I'm thinking crossover. Need help deciding whether to go with Morel Maximo 3-way components or the Alpine 3-way components. I know the Type R's will fit, but not sure the Morels. The Maximos are pretty universal size. Like they're not overly big. The mid-range is tiny. They'll probably fit easier than the Alpines.
Yeah, probably.
I think the biggest thing that would be like would be the tweeter. The Morel tweeter is probably bigger for good reason than the Alpine R-type tweeter. So that would be the only question is whether the tweeter would fit. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, yeah, just go for it, bro. Go for it.
Go for it. Famous words from Dean. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you got? I mean, why not? Okay. Yeah. No.
No. Yeah. No.
I don't know.
Sure.
Let's go with that. Hey, before we wrap up, last brand we didn't talk about, been up there for a while, is Mosconi-America.com. If you're one of those people that need an AB class amplifier, or you need an A class amplifier, or you're cool with just a D class amplifier, Mosconi has them all. The Pico is the tiniest, most powerful little tiny amplifier with their awesome DSP built into it. Goes all the way up to the Pro Series, which are these bad boys here up on the wall.
Yeah.
With the 830 DSP built in. There is an Aerospace 812 that they have if you're looking for standalone. But if you're looking for DSP amplifiers, give them a shout out. Mm-hmm. And there again, they also make the Zeros that do not have DSP but are like crazy, like high bias. So,
yeah,
not just Canada. But with that being said, I'd like to, of course, go back and thank all our vendors. And, of course, I'd like to thank you, the people in the comments asking these wonderful questions. You guys asked some fantastic questions tonight. I thank you so much because without you, this show would kind of be boring. So you guys asked. I love tonight's questions. It was fun.
Yeah.
If we didn't get to your question, though, I do apologize. There's only so many questions we can get to, and sometimes I talk a lot. Just kind of happens. There will be no show this Friday or Saturday. There should be a show Monday. Should be. We'll let you know. Obviously, if the post goes up, there is. I'll be back here Monday. I just don't know what condition I'll be in and whether I'll be able to do it because I will be flying in and I have to get up really freaking early to do it. So,
stop whining.
I'm not whining. I'm just stating fact. Totally stating fact. You guys, thank you so much for watching. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go and find all the cool tools like the IRTA2. If you want to learn how to figure out what's going on with your system and see it, it's the only way to do it. Well, it's not the only way, but it's the best way. You should buy them. Everyone should have an IRTA2.
That's the way.
There you go. That is the way. Totally. I'd like to thank AudioControl, Focal, Moscone, Gladen, and of course our good friends at Arc Audio for sponsoring the show and making it possible.
And the key tags. Thank you, Fang. Yes.
Oh yeah. Somebody ordered 2 yesterday or today. Yeah. So shipping those out. Very nice.
Contribution.
1/8-inch Tech Flex is a pain in the butt. Only if you try to put too much through it.
Yes.
It's kind of like wearing skinny jeans. If you're a big guy, shouldn't do it. If
you're trying to put it on a 8-gauge power wire, that's impossible.
Yeah. I mean, we literally talked about this in our class, was choosing the right size Tech Flex to put over wiring.
Choose your battles.
It's like, wait, what? Yeah, that's a thing. You're not alone, Bobby. You're not alone. Hey, guys.
No, we don't check our DMs on Facebook. If you want to send any message to the store, it's by email. 5starcarstereo.com.
No,
5starcarstereo@gmail.com.
There you go.
That's the place that you can find that you can send some.
That's the email address for Paul.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't check them. Sorry.
Shame on you.
I know. I feel terrible. Listen, guys, it's Monday. You got a whole week ahead of you. Try to make it through. You guys have a great night as always.
Thank you, guys.
See you next time. Bye. Fade to black.